All right, we're back at it with another Build Biology. This time, he's a local, he's a close friend, he's an absolute shredder. It's lit. It's Ryan Litteral.
What's up, man?
What's up, bud? Ryan, you've seen him in the new CoreWorks car, driving Formula Drift. This is the old car with a new look.
Old Faithful is what we call her, right?
So give us the deets on the exterior stuff.
Yeah, S14 Koki, partnered up with 2F Performance this year. Supply us with their awesome Super Doof kit that they make for the S14. Got some really killer Heritage Hokkaido directional concaves on there.
How big are these?
So those are 9.5. I forgot the offset on them. They're 9.5.
They look bigger.
Origin came out with these nice new 75mm over fenders, so you can really put a nice wide wheel when you run like a wide swab trailing arm.
Yeah, and that looks
or
really
trailing
good
style knuckle.
With the 2F bumper.
Another thing that they provided me with this year is their LFCs. So this is all fiberglass. So it's a two-piece quarter panel or rear end section essentially.
Oh, really?
So this entire panel can just come off.
Wow. So basically everything
back.
here is just cut up.
Yeah, and then they also
fabric
make like an FRP. This is just like a trunk skin that they also provided too. So everything is super light and super functional.
Look at how beautiful this paint is.
It's got little somethings. Yeah, I don't know if you can really make it out, but Voodoo Ride is my title sponsor, and we got little Voodoo Ride skulls all throughout.
These here
Yep.
are spread throughout.
Yeah,
so
spread throughout.
Yeah, it's super cool.
It's 4.5 pounds of metal flake and 6 coats of clear.
This is still glass,
That's still glass.
but everything else is replaced.
Yes.
So
yeah, the window's plexiglass. My boys over at Animal Auto, Sergio and Ashton, did the revamp, all the fab work and
the
fitment and
rear
stuff.
radiator and everything looks really good. And
That
fuel
was
cell to the
really
back.
nice.
This is nice. That's a good location there too. So this has been in operation for quite a while.
Long time. The overall heart and soul of the car has been pretty much unchanged for the past since 2014. So same engine, same transmission, same rear end.
And everything's tubed rear, right? So
Everything is tubed rear. I can pull that off whenever you'd like.
go for it. Let's take a look at it.
Sure. So for this year, we switched from a dual pass to a triple pass radiator. Still retain the factory water pump, and I run 2 Buff Spall high performance paddle blade fans. And this thing never like gets over 200 while operating.
Yeah, the ducting looks cool too.
Yeah, it works really good. So you could see how the LFCs, like it's obviously just 2 fiberglass pieces, attaches right down here, but everything is just bolts right on.
That's so cool. Now you get a better idea of what you're saying there about this all being fiberglass. That's really cool.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to replace than having mangled up metal that you have to bend back and stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
How wide are the rear wheels?
Those, I believe, are 10.5 or 11. So of my collection that I run anywhere from a 10.5 to an 11.5.
Yeah? What size tire?
265.
265?
Yeah.
Well, let's get into the interior. Tell me a little bit about this dashboard.
So the dash was provided by a company called Brickhouse Performance. They made a fiberglass left-hand drive S15 dash that can fit into S13, S14, and S15. Really
I'm
really
gonna
nice.
have to talk to you about this. I'm
Yeah,
gonna need
man.
to get me one of these. That looks amazing. And then that was painted as well?
Yeah, it was painted by Jose as well. Yeah, I get a lot of comments online. They're like, oh, well, how doesn't it produce a lot of glare on the windshield? But for me, it doesn't really bother me too much. Got these nice NRG FIA approved seats that they came out with for this year. These are super nice, super comfortable.
Super comfy.
Super comfy. It's like a lazy boy now.
I know, that's
super nice.
That's one thing I noticed.
They're camo. These harnesses are super cool. I love these. And then we came out with a new wheel for this that's going to be coming out in 2019. The second signature wheel that I have with NRG. So really excited.
We actually have one of them.
Market.
We have the other one here. And you run a Haltech, huh?
Yeah, I got the IQ3 dash in there. The Elite series. Bitchin' ECU. Had 0 problems with my car this year. I run that in the Z as well. Does an awesome job of monitoring all of our stuff and making sure that our car is performing at its
I like that you run factory pedals. Man, that's a really intricate door bar as well.
Yeah, my buddy Jason Norton did that for me back in 2014.
Looks cool, man. Definitely gonna keep you from getting hit on a side impact.
Yep. And it's easy to get in. A lot of the door bars that like come out, it makes it really easy, like really hard to get into.
Yeah,
but with the bar, you can just slide.
Slide. Yeah, that's super rad. When you're fully chonged out.
Fully chonged out.
You got to just come crawling out.
Yeah.
Right on, man. Let's take a look at the business here. This is one of my favorite things about your car, just because I've never really had good luck with RBs myself.
My good friend Andrew Molina, we started Animal back in 2013, 2014. We had a previous engine that we used in Pro-Am that we didn't build, and that let go at All-Star Bash after we had acquired our Formula D license. So after going to the drawing board, a lot of research, this was the first one that he really tore into to kind of perfect his formula for success for the RB. There probably hasn't been another one that he's done as intricate as this. There's a lot of things that he probably wouldn't want me to tell you that he's done to it and make this as reliable as it has been for the past since 2014. This thing has made an array of power. I run it pretty low right now, around 600, but when I was competing with it, I was up to like 780 to the tire. It survived a long time. A lot of it is doing with maintenance. It's got the head drain, it's got the oil restrictors, it's got just like beefed up drains. This is like peculiar to Series 2 RBs. You have like a front drain right here. Neos don't have that. It's got a Borg-Warner EFR 8374D. That's lasted a long time too. I've had that same turbo on the car for about 3 years.
And it's on E85, right?
It's on ethanol. It's on pump ethanol too. So I run an inline flex fuel sensor that the Haltech will work off of that and adjust the tune based off of the alcohol content. It's got twin tile 44 millimeter MVR wastegates. It's got a full race twin scroll manifold, which that thing's 5 years old, 6 years old. Never had a problem, never had a crack.
Cool to see something last so long, you know, that this has been through quite a bit of a beating.
It's got a really cool DC power alternator too. It's like a 180 amp alternator. All the radium bits and goods. They came on board for our program this year too. Really like all their stuff. We run their fuel cell and their FCST in the back as well.
How long did it take you guys to get this formula right?
It was the first time. Andrew's a pretty talented dude. And we have a really good tuner too. Koji Arai has tuned this car since then. Andrew's stepped up his game quite a bit over the years with investing in his own dyno and stuff. But Koji's the one that tunes this car, and he's very skilled and knowledgeable with RBs and Japanese engines in general.
Most RB engine bays are pretty cluttered, but this seems to be really efficient in the way that everything works.
Simplicity is key.
Yeah.
You know, this car was built with competition in mind, and when you're in FD, you only have 1 5-minute throughout the whole weekend to work on your car.
Right.
So if anything does go wrong, and even without the 5 minutes, you're always at such a fast pace and time is always of the essence. So if anything does break, you do need to be able to service it fast and get back out there on track. Everything is built in mind to be, like, this bar is now removable. You can pull everything out. Everything is very easy and efficient to work on.
That's one of my favorite things to see too, because like, if you need to get the engine out, boom, straight out.
Real
Instead
easy.
of smashing up your core and all that stuff.
Yeah, intercooler comes out as one piece too, bam.
That is a massive intercooler.
Yeah, it's a big fatty. Full Race supplied that for me this year. It's a 4.5-inch Garrett core. Boys made the end tanks.
And then you got your coolers set up front here. And then I can see everything else here. We got wise fab, fuel suspension. We might have to just take a look underneath this thing.
This is an R33 crossmember.
That just bolts right into S14.
Bolts right in. So R33 is very similar to S14. R32 is extremely similar to S13. So rear subframes, like an S14 subframe, will fit right into an R33, which is good for the drift guys that you want to eliminate hikis. Just don't even worry about the cancellation bar, nothing like that.
Yeah.
Just drops right in. So you can use standard mounts. We have custom mounts. These are just like solid steel mounts.
Suspension-wise, we got wise fab.
Yeah, wise fab, Feel 441 long strokes.
This setup is what you ran when you were running FD with this guy.
The subframe is actually moved 30 millimeters forward. So I just had my friend just machine me some one-off spacers. Because I did this years ago.
Oh, that's cool.
And I've never bent or broken a tie rod because of that too. Usually the offset rack spacers put a little bit too much load on the tie rod. So
Nice line there.
you can throw the cart as hard as you want.
How long did it take you to like fine tune the setup?
Probably a few months.
Yeah.
Just playing around with different settings and seeing what I liked, what I didn't like. And then obviously driving with like a trailing style knuckle takes a little bit of time to get used to, because you can't run as aggressive caster settings that you would be able to run with a traditional knuckle style setup or a PBM setup, something like that. I run a lot of caster for a Wisefab setup, I guess you could say. I run about 6 degrees. Guys like Odie and other people right out of the box who want to run it around 3. So that's why I feel like people get this misconception that there's a lot of dead feeling with Wisefab, but if you run that low of a caster setting, it's going to feel like that. There's not going to be a lot of self-steer.
So that's your tip then, was with the caster?
Yeah, just add a little more caster. Toe settings are pretty aggressive too.
Yeah.
So I run like about a 1/4 inch toe out. Another way that I also get a little bit of feeling back in is I run an electric MR2. It's out of an SW20 power steering pump.
Yeah.
This has an adjustable feel to it too. There's a lock nut on the pump. So that's your potentiometer up here where you can adjust the pressure feel.
Oh, that's cool.
For, you know, higher speed, lower speed stuff. You can adjust how the steering will feel.
That's something I've been considering for a long time. I've been seeing a lot of guys move to electric power steering. Guys trying different stuff out of different things. I've heard this before. I think Hurt runs that as well.
The biggest thing, especially in drifting, there's a lot of load on the power steering, especially on the belt, on the drive setup with the belt. With high RPMs, it always wants to push the bearing out, and pumps always fail, or you slip a belt or whatever.
Yeah.
And I had a big problem with that, where I was just like constantly throwing belts and constantly going through pumps. So I was just like, I'm just gonna try an electric setup.
Sure.
Justin's Pollux ran him in his FCs.
And even the Mustangs come with it, so.
Exactly, exactly. So it's a really, really good setup, really good.
So tell me about the clutch. What are we running here?
I run a Clutch Masters 850 series twin plate. It's an awesome clutch. They're a local company. These clutches will last over a year with the way that I drive them, the power level of the car, and it's just top-notch stuff. I've worked with them for years, and great people.
That's
great
awesome.
products.
You do a lot of banging around.
Oh yeah.
Which we can see on your exhaust.
It's beat to fit. It's kind of like Levi 501s, like wash to fit.
Yeah,
Same
beat
thing.
to fit, baby.
Yeah, beat to fit.
It looks great. So what's up with the diff?
So that's an R32 GTR differential and axles. If you are having axle issues, diff issues, this thing has lasted all the way up to 800 horsepower. The big thing, people are like, oh, I'll put a Z30 or a Z33 diff in the car. Well, you know, that's great. It's still a 6-bolt, you know, with your 12mm bolts. But the biggest upgrade with it, 30 or 32 spline inside the pumpkin, and it's a 32 spline at the hub. So you have to run Q45 hubs. Your conventional 240SX Z33 is still 29 spline at the hub.
Right.
These are what always break right here.
Yeah.
And I've never broken anything.
That's
this diff,
awesome.
This diff is still from 2014.
That's saying a lot.
It's a COS 2A.
COS,
Never
okay.
rebuilt it.
Now, brake setup, you have dual caliper?
Got dual calipers, and then I run WinMax. They're a JDM company, really good stuff. One pull, and it's she's in. Yeah.
One pull.
One pull.
That's what she's
Bam,
looking for.
she's in.
But it's hard to see the fuel cell because it is tucked up in there.
Yeah.
A lot of,
so we put that right above the subframe. You want as much weight over the rear axle as you can. Obviously, free up more space back here.
for sure.
Yep.
And kind of safer in an impact.
A little safer in impact, so I'm saying. So, you know, if you take out your radiator here, you probably have more problems, right?
Right. And I can see those massive fans you have there too.
Yeah,
so
those are big fatties. They do
awesome.
work.
So what can we expect this car to be at in the future here?
It's a dedicated lifestyle car now, so it'll be having fun at Grid Life. I throw my own events at Pilot Automotive and everything here in between.
Now what can we expect for 2019 season for Mr. Ryan Litteral in Formula Drift?
So I'll be campaigning the Cobra Works 350Z again, full season of Pro 1, and some other fun events with that car as well, but that thing is going to be animal.
And that's getting revamped, right?
That's getting revamped. That's going to be a bad daddy when she's done.
I'm happy to have
I'm
you,
excited to get behind the wheel of that bad boy.
Oh, of course you are. Thanks for coming by, bro.
Hey, appreciate you.
This
Thank
thing's
you.
awesome. Zach was like, yo, make some noise so I can hop in there when they stop real quick. I need some bolts.